Howdy, y'all. It is bright and early out here in Colorado. My feline companion, he has imprinted on me. Decided to wake me up at, Lord knows, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, to chatter and to get his breakfast before it made sense. More like his midnight snack, given his strange appetite of our couch blanket. He hasn't fixed yet. In this flipped world, I find it strange to be so surefire about either neutering or spaying our animal companions. But that is a discussion for another day. He woke me up to tell me that I've got to make this video, and this video is on our food system. So pictured here, we have probably your ideal format for food dispersal today, or one of along those lines. So you go to a farmer's market. How many people go to farmers markets regularly? How many people just go to grocery stores? Farmers markets are clearly a healthier alternative to a grocery store. In this example, we have a parking lot. It's little, it's not the nicest environment. You have people wearing masks, probably for the fake thing. Uh, and yeah, I think in many farmers markets that I've been to, they look like this. They're often in parking lots, but they'll have like, as you can see in the background, you'll have the canopies, and then you'll have various farmers, and you can talk to them and ask them questions about whatever they have for you, and then something like this is maybe more of a communal section, or it's nice to have this. And I think if you can go to farmers markets, do it. Uh, Even in this crazy day and age, it's a much healthier alternative to going to grocery stores. Now, this video is not focused on farmers markets so much as it is on the food system in whole, and what the vehicle of money does to our appetites and how we make and share and create food. So, and in the modern world, wherever I've been, visited abroad, been to Australia, been to Europe. I mean, it's pretty similar. Yeah, the overbearing fluorescent lighting of modern brick and mortar stores it's not healthy. It's not good. Um, your standard grocery stores are all going to have this high ceiling, high light while you're in there, and I think it creates this kind of subject being studied, or even a person on a stage, you being on a stage with the light on you, a necessary feeling, um, artificially, which you could argue is to uh, convince us not to be so concerned about the changing color of our sun from yellow to white. But yes, the big aspect of going to the grocery store is being in this lighting, and I think it creates a environment that isn't comfortable. And I generally try to err away from these stores if I can, but often the cheapest option, the most convenient option, is to go to this store with this lighting. And then the caveat being is that it's not convenient to your body. It's not convenient, but that's just an introductory aspect. So yes, these grocery stores, especially like the generic ones, the generals, are going to have, um, yeah, Trannyland front and central. You have the hair dye aisle, for instance, but then you also have, yeah, at the very front, People Magazine, Globe. I mean, all this nonsense about just made up stuff. People fake dying. Over here, you have a character change, right? Fake death. You got some just evil. nonsense going on, but stuff that you don't need to look at while you're picking out food. It's just something that people can look at if they wanted to elsewhere. I think if you're going to have magazines like this, some stores do it better, where it's just food related. It's about, home and decoration and stuff that you're going to do. It's not related to the media. So any store that has this immediately gets a demerit in my mind, because um, it's just unnecessary. It takes your mind off of what's important. Um, yeah, false idol worship. So try to avoid these stores if possible, and definitely don't buy these things. It's not a good thing to support these ridiculous tabloids. So a big aspect of the grocery store and the food system is that it's so fantastic because in the dead of winter, you can buy bananas. You can buy tropical fruit when it's not growing. You can extend the season. And I don't know if you guys have tried this. I've done this to some extent, but eating seasonally, it's actually a pretty foreign concept in today's diverse world. But yeah, you would only be eating bananas during their season when they're ripe for harvest, and you wouldn't be eating them in the dead of winter. In the dead of winter, you would probably be eating more cruciferous vegetables, or yes, you would have to have canned and jarred. It's hard to eat seasonally, but I think it's a healthier alternative to what we have pictured here, which is the Cavendish banana. The Cavendish banana is a highly genetically modified food product that has a pericarp, or a outer covering, the banana peel, that is supposed stronger, more resilient to damage over ship and travel than other bananas, and it's limited. Pests don't go after it as much. It's a highly modified banana. It tastes okay. I would describe it as a functional banana, and it's the one you're gonna find across the world. I see it everywhere, and you have weird trade agreements where Jamaica can only uh, give their bananas out, I believe, to the United Kingdom and Europe. We can't, like in the U.S., you can't get a Jamaican banana. You have to get, I think, like Ecuadorian, Costa Rica. There's like certain countries that can give you bananas, other ones can't. You don't have the deals in place. So that's weird. But to get back on the point here is, it's this highly modified fruit, and you only get one variety of this. There's many different varieties of bananas that people never even try. I went to Hawaii, and I had apple bananas out there. I had your natural native bananas. I mean, those are probably modified to some extent as well, but they're way less modified than these Cavendish ones. And I think people ought to explore their culinary options and understand the depth of food that's out there, because these bananas are such a pale comparison to the ones I tried out in Hawaii, the ones that were growing on the island, that were smaller in form and much sweeter, had much more distinguished taste. So something else that I saw in Hawaii was a rambutan, and this is something that I'm sure many of you aren't even aware exists, because it isn't widely distributed. It doesn't travel well, apparently, so you aren't likely to find it unless you live in a tropical community. Um, you might see lychee, which is a very similar fruit to this. This rambutan, the fleshy part looks like this white fleshy part. It's like a grape, tastes like a grape. It's very similar to it. It has a pit. Delicious. I highly recommend it. And I think it's a travesty that people don't get, haven't had the chance to try this, or it's not more widely available because of lack of know-how, or the simple reliance on this consumer-based culture where people aren't, having their greenhouses and growing rambutan trees and, sharing them with friends, even if it's not local. It'd be a cool experiment. Just expanding the know-how on food, not the know-how, expanding the knowledge on food and understanding all the different varieties of food, I think is scarce when you have this conveyor belt model. So yeah, we need to explore that and learn more about different foods that are out there. But also here nowadays, especially with the COVID nonsense, um, you have self checkout implemented, where okay, the reasoning being, oh, you don't want to be near people, but it's I think it's a given to like total beast, where I think if you consider food to be this like relationship with God, it's this manna, it's this energy from the earth that is going to support you and heal you and nourish you throughout your day, then self checkout is about as divorced as you can get from this connection with nature, where you're going to a store, you're picking up these prepackaged products, you're not even talking to anybody, you're checking out and then going home, and none of your food, you're just like no understanding of where your food came from really in depth. And maybe this is just an admittance of the whole grocery store concept is just already that, and self checkout is just there as a convenience. I think personally, like, it makes sense as an express option. If you'd only have a few items, definitely self checkout. Like, wow, go for it. A handful of things, you just gotta check out quick, go. If you have a lot of stuff though, I've done that before where I've self checked out with like a grocery cart full of food. That felt wrong. I think I should be going to somebody, having a conversation, figuring out what's going on with somebody's day, or just asking questions about the food that I have at the very least. Because why are they there if not to engage in some conversation about food? But yeah, self checkout, it's a pretty dystopian aspect, and I think in studying grocery stores and what I think works and what I think doesn't work, I think the stores that have self checkout are kind of giving into the communal aspect of food. I think a better grocery store is not going to have self checkout. Just it's giving into this speed. It's giving into this warehouse mentality of, oh, we just go here to pick up food. It doesn't matter. We don't have to have eye contact or human connection. It's just a place to pick up food. So if you want to have tunnel vision, self checkout for sure, or if you have an express, go for it. But it's if you can't avoid it, please don't self checkout. Like, so yeah, just this notion of genetically modified foods. I shouldn't say just this notion. That's a phrase I've gotten used to saying. But um, yeah, feeling like the food you're eating is not human, and I think in a lot of cases, people, we've talked about it. Um, you know, Dairy. It's not Farmer John milking the cows anymore. It's a metal apparatus. It's a machine that's hooked up to a cow. It's like this with fruit, and it's automated water systems and automated. If you're going for or non-organic, they're going to use pesticides, so it's going to be automated pesticide spray. But even if they are organic, they're going to spray other things on them. So there's this whole attitude, organic and GMO, and how everything really is GMO, but you have things that aren't sprayed with pesticides. Basically, that's what makes it organic. And maybe they don't use Roundup in their fields. There's a couple things that they do better, but the idea of organic is a very open term, and it's not something I want to delve into too deep for this video, but it's something that you have to come into contact with, that you shouldn't have to come into contact with in this day and age. Everything should just be organic. We shouldn't have all this crazy, we shouldn't have pesticides. We shouldn't have all this crazy modification of food. Population hoax goes into this genetic modification of food, or people will make the lie that in order to produce so much food, you need to have all of these things in place. You need to have all these pesticides. You need to have all this genetic modification. But the reality is we aren't underpopulated. They're just trying to give us shitty food and stuff that's removed from the manna, removed from the nourishment of God, the really wonderful, nourishing native trees and plants. Like, getting back to that, I always think about the GMO strawberry and the native strawberry, and the strawberries I've had at people's homes. The strawberries I've had at people's homes are delicious. They fruity. They have a genuine flavor to them. It's enriching. You can distinguish between the strawberry and water. It's so many of the strawberries in the store, and this kind of goes in hand with what I was talking about with the bananas earlier, the Cavendish bananas. It's this base, like it fulfills this basic need, but it doesn't go any further. It may have a little bit of flavor to it. It fulfills a need better as like a combination dish. These bananas, these Cavendish bananas, for me, are these purely for smoothie fuel things. So same idea with the strawberries. Um, yeah, they're part of the whole. I often don't eat them on their own if they're store bought because they don't have any flavor. So yes, getting out of this whole automated convenient and getting back to putting your hands in the soil and growing your own food is a big aspect of this video. So then, yeah, in the store yourself, you're going to come across a lot of brands. And this one itself, I'm sure I've looked at the ingredients, they look fine on these Unreal dark chocolate almond buttercups or anything that the Unreal brand is making, but Unreal, right? Like it's telling you, right? Why it's like one of these common swag catchphrases of these slang of this day and age. Unreal, you say sick, cool, dude, sick to refer to something that's cool, but sick is like a negative connotation. And I know I'm sounding old hat and ridiculous, but it is, you are your words. And to say something is unreal, it tells me that a lot of modification, a lot of processing has gone into making this food, and I probably shouldn't value it very high. Why am I even buying this? I've ate it. It's delicious. Don't get me wrong. It's delicious, but yeah, I'm very leery of things like this, and I'm putting it out here that you really shouldn't you should be very wary of what you're eating, and it's hard to be wary of what you're eating. And but this is just one aspect of it. So you got the Unreal tag, right? The Unreal name. Like, what do you buy that, or what do you do with that? The ingredients look okay. You check the ingredients, or do you just look at the tagline and say, hey, like they're telling you this is not a good thing to buy, maybe I shouldn't buy it. This one gives me kind of Starbucks vibes. This Califia brand, it just kind of has this like cold, like alien look, maybe even like mantis look. I'm trying to find the creepy like design within a design here. But yeah, Califia Farms. I've had their almond milk. I've had their products multiple times. But looks for like the siren from Starbucks. Do you buy this? Do you buy this? Um, I don't really buy it very often because I am kind of creeped out by the design. But I mean, is it any better than any of the other non-dairy milks in the market? It's hard to say. Um, so then, yeah, this one I don't buy. It's just because it's blatant Baphomet Orange 33, whatever programming. What am I saying? Hand sign, the one eye. I just don't. I don't like it. I don't support it. I'm sure they're okay. I'm sure it's the same idea as like Unreal. It's probably tastes fine, but maybe we're just conditioned to think it tastes okay, and it's just they even printed on the cookie. It's the one eye. It's the probably like the see no evil, blight thy eye. That's kind of the notion of it, or the eye of Set. Sorry, the eye of Horus. My bad. I mixed those two up. Eye of Horus. Just this, yeah, blinding that eye. So I don't buy that. But yeah, weird how I do buy this one. I don't buy this one, and they both kind of have straightforward signs that tell you probably should be wary and not buy these things. Um, yeah, just this, yeah, dystopian feeling, kind of going back to that. This is more of what you'll see if you do go up to the even if you do go up to the check stand. It's gone down some, but look how ridiculous this is. This person has a face mask over a face mask, signing in. Everything is just digital, hands free. It's just so dystopian. There's no connection to your food. Everything looks just like germ free, weird. Like this is just so dystopian. There's a 44 in the background, which is just interesting, the whole destruction aspect. But uh, yeah, just very dystopian experience. And yeah, I mean, you should be out here growing your own food and helping out. And I think what's reasonable, what we're doing, and I think what's reasonable for anybody, even if you're in a small apartment situation, is to grow your own food in your little place. I mean, water them. You could do microgreens. You could do just potted plants. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just doing potted. I have tons of potted plants out in my stoop. Tomatoes. Gonna grow cucumbers and make pickles. We got chamomile, all sorts of good stuff. Um, and sage, all sorts of good stuff. But it's small scale and it's going to grow every year. And I think that's what you should be doing. Wherever you're at, grow more food this year than you did last year. Grow more, unless, unless unless you're at this point where you're already doing this and you're sharing with friends and you have plenty of food that you're growing. If you're not growing any food, please grow food. If you're growing a little bit food, try to grow more food and do it in little ways. Just make little differences, alleviate some need for you to go to the grocery store because then you know where you know the or at least you know more of the you know more of the history of ancestry of and understanding of the seeds, the plant you're growing. And yes, it's hard to find a seed provider that isn't somehow BAFO connected, and it's kind of like a moot point. But yeah, try different seeds out, see what you think, see what makes sense to you. Maybe just go for heirloom varieties. Learn more about apples, learn more about tomatoes. For me, like I've learned a lot more about apples. I know certain things about how like Honeycrisp is an apple that came out within the last couple decades, whereas say Macintosh is an older variety. You'd probably want to go for more of the older varieties. The newer varieties, that's not that they're bad. It's just it is interesting. But if you want more of the taste of the manna, I suppose, yeah, you would go back to the older variety, the heirloom varieties to understand what the genesis is. And then yeah, in the grocery store, yeah, again, you're gonna buy your peace teas, you're gonna buy your energy drinks. They're gonna be loaded with symbolism. Do you actually buy this stuff? You can't, I've bought peace tea before. It tasted fine, and the double connotation of or double entendre of peace and Baphomet. Hard to It's just annoying. But yeah, monster seeing through the veil. How can you buy this if you're awake? How can you buy? I think I've tried monster once. It's disgusting. Like I don't know how you could buy this if you're awake, I should say, not stagnant, but if you're um, just aware of the evils of this world. Rockstar, the R's mirror imaged, the big pentagram star. I mean, all these are the same. Just devil, Satan worship, energy drink. Red Bull's a big one you hear associated with college and Adderall and staying up all night and yeah, I think that the Free Martins, I think there may be a pre-Marin thing going on with the Strats and Swires, and I think we got something to do with testosterone being sourced from the testes of the bulls. So it might be some weird Free Martin. I mean, Free Martins are the ones I see chugging these Red Bulls a lot of the time. But yeah, not healthy for you, not good for you. And then, okay, so I definitely will make a video on this soon, but just the idea of veganism, right? And eating plant based. It's like so. I think doing that is great if you're going to eat fruits and vegetables and grains and stuff. And I've definitely, when I first went vegan and went plant based, I definitely started eating more of these meat alternatives or animal alternatives, and this one's in your face. This is the Morning Star. This is the devil, like satanic programming. Like you just don't fuck with this brand at all. just don't. I just don't. I've tried it. Well, it's disgusting, and it smells gross. And I think it's just referencing their Morning Star, Lucifer. That's what this is. The brand of Lucifer, and I don't recommend really any of this fake meat stuff. It's not as good as it's not rejuvenating. If anything, it just kind of satisfies that flavor maybe you're missing, but I don't really miss it anymore. And there are foods that have their own texture, which is similar to and satiates maybe that weird perceived need. So like portobello mushrooms, I always bring up in reference to steak. If you are a big steak head, I'm not, but I do love portobello mushrooms. Or yeah, jackfruit and pulled pork. If you're a pulled pork person, you love pulled pork, jackfruit, barbecue sauce it up. It's the same. It's like same texture. It tastes good, and you don't have the. I don't know. Yeah, I don't eat animals. Um, but yeah, this is another one. Daring. Like, do you really want to? It's telling you like Unreal, kind of similar. Like daring. Do you want to try this highly processed crap? Lab meat fake lab meat. I've tried actually one of these. I was an idiot. I tried one of these. This green one that's on the bottle, the original. Terrible. Just yeah, I have a Free Martin friend, I guess you could say, who I was talking to him about all this stuff, and he said that what I have a theory. Like, what if all this like weird, plant-based meat is just human? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's creepy, but making us vampiric. The irony of that, like, oh, you're trying to be this, the ultimate like annoying vegan, right? Raging vegan, PETA vegan, like pouring blood on you and yelling at you about your dietary preferences, right? Um, but all along they're eating this like fake meat that's actually humans. Like the irony of that would kind of be funny. But yeah, that's why I don't know. Could be this evil world. So I try to avoid. I don't go for this stuff anymore. Very low on my radar. I definitely eat more fruits and vegetables, and every year getting a little bit better about growing my own food and all that good stuff. So just stay along those lines. And then yeah, this one, ew, like simulate, ew, and then giving like the next level of like the human giving the nugget to the chicken, like, oh, you want to try this thing that's supposed to taste like you? Like how weird is that? And maybe that is them telling you in a weird way that you're eating human meat. Like here, this is leftover human. I don't know. It's creepy. But yeah, don't. I would not eat this. This is disgusting. Just avoid this. Um, okay, and then yeah, more one eye, old school one eye symbolism. Wise potato chips. I used to eat these back in the day. I don't even know if they're around anymore. But just like, I remember thinking this was weird as a young person. Just like looking at this, I'm like, that's a weird symbol. Why would you make that your brand? But maybe it is just an unhealthy chip, and it's like here's junk for the goyim. I don't know. It's hard to say. And then learning about all the fake animals. There's the endangered species chocolate, but there's also this Enviro Kids. Like every variety they have is some fake animal. Here's the peanut butter panda puffs. My daughter loves these. It's weird. I mean, they're just like sugary peanut butter cereal, pretty simplistic, healthier than your, I don't know, your Reese's Puffs, I suppose, based on the basic ingredients. But it is just sugar. It's not really healthy for you. It's not. It's just kind of junk food. It's kind of a waste of your money. And it is a waste of your money. Uh, and yeah, maybe they're telling you with all the fake animals, circus animals. Yeah, gorilla munch. It's just, why do you eat this? Why do you eat this if you know the animals are fake? It's strange. We live in this strange world where all these inverts are going above and beyond to rage and support these animatronic animals. And yeah, what is the last one here? Choco chimps. Don't eat any of them. I think they have a cheetah one, and yeah, it's like, oh, is this the real one? You gonna eat the real animal one? That's the real one. I don't know, man. Trippy animatronic zoo world. So I'd be very leery of trying these. Don't. It is not that they taste bad. It's just, why would you eat it if you know that Bubbles the chimp exists? Like, this is just some weird animatronic fake animal there to convince you that you're an evolved form of a monkey. Like, don't, no, stop. Okay, oh god, sorry, I'm not giving you guys any preparation here. Uh, so this is Irene Rosenfeld. I think I just yeah, she's the former CEO of Mondelez, which is the big Nabisco shareholder owner. So Nabisco is Oreos and fucking uh, Nutter Butters. I think Cheese Nips. I think Cheez Its, one of those. Basically, like your junk food, like the a lot of the standard junk food you think about. This witchy hag man is selling you. Very creepy looking individual. Got many black and white photos of this one, and I just want to show you the range. So this is a decrepit old retired, uh, obvious invert man. Maybe just wearing drag, not even a swire. Um, Epic Sellouts did a ridiculous video on Irene Rosenfeld back in the day of earlier transvestigation stuff. God, it's a scary looking individual, but yeah, Oreos are probably the biggest product this creature sells. Black and white duality. They taste delicious. It's just we're so conditioned to like this crap, but I don't trust what's in there. It's garbage. It's not gonna make you feel good. You're gonna have all sorts of weird stomach aches and weird stools, and yeah, get away from it. You want to eat what's coming from this? Do you really want to? I don't think so. And then yeah, this is just showing you the scope, right? This is just clear junk food, selling you junk food, cookies and shit. This is Kulina. This is a like 3-4 ingredient like vegan yogurt, healthy plant based yogurt, coconut yogurt. Look at that. I mean, that's a dude. No, not even like just obvious dude. Look at the rings on the neck. Got your strep, quote unquote, strep throat. Um, and I've had this one. This is a good yogurt. This is delicious. I like it. Um, but this is what you get. This is all you get. Either side of the spectrum. You want to go healthy. You want to go junk. It's just all you get. So yeah, try. I guess it's kind of a zoo out there in that regard. If you are going to the grocery store, I still go to the grocery store. It's hard not to go to the grocery store. Read the ingredients. The way I think about it, most of the stuff that this shithole is selling you is gonna have ingredients with like 5 syllables. You want to stay away from 5 syllable ingredients, things you can barely pronounce. That is some highly processed food. I would recommend this yogurt right now, but I don't know. Maybe I'll change and it'll be only eat human grown food. Don't eat any trans produced food. I don't know. Um, but I'm just showing you the scope of this. And then what I referenced earlier, just the manna aspect. God, He rained down manna for the people to eat. He gave them the grain of heaven. Here's Psalm 78:24. This idea of food being the grain of heaven, that we have this connection to the heavens and we should be indulging in it, understanding it, and exploring it. And if we're given uh, simulate chicken nugs, I think we're pretty far removed from that. Um, so, yes, it's important what we eat. It is critically important. It directly impacts our day. You are what you eat. It's an important, very important phrase that goes around. Uh, and you need to change your eating habits if you are waking up to all this stuff, of course, because Kraft mac and cheese, or I don't know, like just I, my opinion, all dairy. Just I didn't talk about this video, but you could make your arguments about animals, like eating animals, but I think all dairy is just I don't know why anybody eats dairy. Dairy is the mammary fluid from another animal. I just don't think we're supposed to be doing that. I think we're supposed to be taking in mammary fluid past our babyhood. Maybe you could make an argument for cow milk or goat milk being okay prior to, um, I don't know, like or I guess like in infancy, but then after that, it's just you don't need it. I still eat dairy-free cheese though, so I get the flavor, but just mammary fluid, it shouldn't. I don't know if you should be consuming it past infancy, and that's something that you gotta think about. But I will say mammary fluid is fantastic when it comes to healing abrasions and cuts. So there's definitely a need for it in many other forms. And then Matthew 15:11, it is not what goes into the mouth of a man that makes him unclean and defiled, but what comes out of the mouth that makes a man unclean and defiles him. I I agree somewhat, but I also disagree because I think that this would defile you. I think that eating the Oreos and eating Choco Chimps, perhaps, definitely eating this simulate chicken nugs is going to defile you. You're not going to be as healthy of an individual and far removed from the manna that is out there. So find the manna and let's continue this conversation on food next time. And hopefully I get a good response from this video so you guys can dictate pretty much where the next conversation on food goes. It's a wide open topic and we need to figure out how to best gather energy and enhance our lives in this highly uh, corrupted world. So, much peace and love to you all. God bless you all, and I look forward to having more frequent videos. Oh, and before I go, if you stayed at this length of the video, I have an 8-hour video that I've put out, or that I've tried to put out with Snow Global Pedo Cult. We made a podcast a couple weeks ago, and I just have not been able to. It's not been able to process and get out there yet. So I'm gonna still work on that and try and put that out soon. So we have another big podcast coming out for you guys soon. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying them, and yeah, keep the community growing.